You won't believe what happened at the school's end-of-year pool party. What started as a perfect day turned into a moment that changed our entire school, and I was there to capture it all. Stick around until the end of this story, because the principal's reaction, it's something you have to see to believe. And if this story touches your heart like it did mine, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more real-life stories of courage and kindness. The sun was a blazing gold coin in the sky, and the air buzzed with the shrieks and laughter of students finally set free from the confines of the classroom. The annual summer splash party was in full swing, and for most, it was paradise. For Maya, however, it was a different kind of challenge. Standing at the edge of the shimmering turquoise water, she clutched the towel around her shoulders like a shield. The towel hid what she was most self-conscious about, the pale, jagged scar that ran down her left leg, a permanent reminder of the car accident that had stolen her mother's easy grace and left her own body pieced back together. Maya was new to the school, a quiet girl with a talent for capturing the world through the lens of her old camera. She observed life rather than plunging into it, a habit born from both her recent trauma and the constant, low-grade fear of being noticed for the wrong reasons. Her only friend, Liam, bobbed in the water a few feet away. "The water's amazing, Maya. Come on in," he called, his face bright and encouraging. She offered a weak smile. "In a minute," she lied, her eyes nervously scanning the crowd. They landed, as she feared they would, on Chloe. Chloe was the sun around which a certain social orbit revolved, blonde, charismatic, and armed with a cutting remark that could slice through confidence like a hot knife through butter. Maya had accidentally bumped into her in the hallway the first week of school, spilling Chloe's expensive latte. The apology had been swift and sincere, but Chloe had marked her ever since, her disdain a cold, persistent drip. "What's the matter, Maya?" Chloe's voice cut through the festive noise, sweet as poison honey. Her group of friends fell silent, their attention shifting like a pack of predators. "Afraid you'll melt? Or is there something wrong with your leg? You always walk so carefully." A hot flush crept up Maya's neck. "I'm fine, Chloe. Just enjoying the sun." But Chloe wasn't done. She waited closer, her smile never wavering. "I think you need to cool off. You look awfully tense." The air around them grew still. Liam started swimming towards the edge, his expression alarmed. "Chloe, don't." It happened in a blur of motion and malicious intent. With a sudden, powerful shove, Chloe's hands connected with Maya's shoulders, sending her stumbling backward. A collective gasp rippled through the students nearby as Maya, her arms flailing, lost her balance and tumbled into the pool with a loud, ungainly splash. The shock of the cold water was nothing compared to the searing hot wave of humiliation that followed. But it was what happened next that truly paralyzed her. Her towel, her shield, had been ripped away in the fall and now floated on the surface like a discarded flag. And there, for everyone to see, was the angry, red scar running the length of her thigh. She floundered, more from panic than an inability to swim, desperate to hide, to disappear, to sink into the blue depths and never come up. Tears mingled with chlorinated water as she heard the snickers, the whispers. She saw Liam fighting his way toward her, his face a mask of fury and concern. But before he could reach her, another figure, fully clothed, cut through the air. Principal Davis had been making his rounds, a paper plate of potato salad in one hand, smiling benignly at the festivities. He saw the push, the fall, the look of utter devastation on Maya's face. Without a moment's hesitation, without even setting down the plate, he leaped into the deep end. The splash was monumental. Students stared, mouths agape, as their principal, in his khaki pants and polo shirt, surfaced beside Maya. His glasses were askew, and his clothes were instantly soaked and heavy, but his focus was entirely on her. He didn't look at the scar. He didn't look at the gawking students. He looked only into her eyes, which were wide with shock and shame. "Maya," he said, his voice calm and steady, a rock in her churning sea of humiliation. "I've got you. You're okay." He positioned himself between her and the staring crowd, using his own body to block their view. With a gentle hand on her back, he guided her to the pool's edge, where Liam was already waiting, reaching down to help pull her out. Principal Davis then heaved himself out of the water, dripping a small lake onto the concrete. The entire pool area was silent, save for the gentle lapping of waves. All eyes were fixed on the dripping wet principal and the trembling girl he was protecting. He turned to face the students, his expression not one of anger, but of profound disappointment. Water streamed from his hair, but his voice was clear and carried across the water. "What I just witnessed," he began, his gaze sweeping over them and finally settling on a pale and suddenly very small-looking Chloe, "was not the spirit of this school. This is a place of community. Of respect." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. "Cruelty is a choice. And so is kindness." He then did something nobody expected. He walked over to the table where the sound system was set up, leaving a trail of wet footprints. He picked up the microphone. "My name is Principal Davis," he said, his voice echoing slightly. "And this young woman, Maya, is one of the bravest people I know. She has faced challenges most of you can't imagine, and she shows up every day with a quiet strength I admire." He turned to Maya, who was now wrapped in a fresh towel, her body still shaking. "Your worth, Maya, is not, and will never be, determined by the ignorance of others. It is determined by your resilience, your kindness, and your heart. And from what I've seen, yours is immense." Then, he looked back at the crowd. "We have a choice right now. We can let this moment define us as a school that stands by and allows bullying, or we can choose to be better. I choose to be better. Who's with me?" A slow clap started from the back. It was Liam. Then another student joined in, and another, until the entire pool area was filled with a thunderous, unifying applause. It wasn't for the dramatic pool jump, it was for the message. It was for Maya. Chloe was quietly escorted inside by a teacher, facing consequences that would be severe and life-altering. But the real change happened outside. One by one, students came up to Maya, not to gawk, but to offer a kind word, to share their own stories of insecurity, to apologize for not speaking up sooner. The scar on her leg was no longer a mark of otherness, it had become, in a strange way, a symbol of a day their school chose compassion over cruelty. The party didn't end in silence. It ended with a different kind of noise, the sound of connection, of understanding, of a community healing itself. So, why did I tell you this story? Because in a world that can often feel cold, it's a powerful reminder that one act of courage, one leap of faith, whether it's into a pool or into defending what's right, can change everything. Principal Davis didn't just save Maya from humiliation, he saved our school's soul. He taught us that the strongest people aren't those who push others down, but those who lift them up. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you of the power of standing up for others, then do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. We share stories like this every week, stories that prove that even in the darkest moments, there is light. Be that light for someone. We'll see you in the next video.